Good afternoon everyone. Myself Nishitha, Assistant Professor, Department of CSIT, working at MLR Institute of Technology. Today's session we are going to discuss about operating system structures. So let us see the overview of the presentation. So today we are going to discuss about operating system services and next system calls and next system programs, system calls, system programs, operating system structure. So let us see the services which are provided by the operating system and next system calls and next system programs and operating system structure. So first we are going to see about operating system services. So means what are the services provided by the operating system. So first one is operating system services program execution. So program execution means program execution is nothing but how we are going to load the program in the main memory, how we are going to execute that program and what is the required output we are going to see in program execution. Next, what are the input output operations of this operating system we are going to see. Next, communication between process and next security and privacy and next user interface and next networking and then error handling. So let us see first about the service which is provided by the operating system is program execution. So in this program execution, the operating system that manages how a program is going to be executed, means how the program is loaded into the main memory and how it is going to execute it. So that is what about program execution, means loading the program in main memory and getting the output. That is what program execution. Next, what are the input output operations provided by the operating system. So operating system manages the input output operations. So it manages all the input output operations and establishes a communication between the user and device drivers. So in the last session of the class, I have said one example about the printer of a document file. So input is what here I am writing one MS document. I need the printout of that document. So for that document, I required some printer drivers, nothing but device drivers of the printer. So whatever the requirement of these device drivers which are used by the operating system can take the printout. So I am writing the MS Word document as input. So output I need that printout. That is what taking the printer of that MS document is what output. So giving the input as doc file. So I need the printout of the doc file. So input is document, output is printer. So that is what the communication between the user and the device drivers of this system. That is what input output operations. Next, how we are going to communicate with the processes. So operating system manages the communication between the processes. Means how we are going to communicate by providing or includes the data transfers. Means the process includes data transfers among different kind of the processes which are required. If the processes are not on the same computer, means it is not presented on the same computer. Suppose all the documents are not in the same system. Suppose it is in another system. So at that time what we are going to do, we are giving something connection. Means I am giving the LAN or WAN connection to communicate with the, to get the data. So sending and suppose client want to send a mail to server. How he can send? Means providing some network. So client want to send a mail and server will give an acknowledgement to the client. So by providing this communication, nothing but interaction between the interaction between the two systems. That is what through a computer network. So that network is nothing but LAN or WAN. That is what the communication between processes. Next, security. Always keep our computer safe from an unauthorized user. Means how the authorized person can access his files by providing some security. Nothing but giving some passwords. If the authorized person only knows the key of that, then only he can access the files. Otherwise he cannot access. That is what keeping our files secure. when the bad guys like viruses and hackers, whereas unauthorized persons want to access, does he get the key to access? No, right? So they will be hacked by some unauthorized persons wants to access by providing some duplicate keys, and they are connected with some softwares to remove that files, means they want to open that files. That is what keeping the files secure. Next, privacy. Operating system gives us facility to keep our essential information, like having a lock on our door. So means how we are going to protect your documents in your present location by keeping the door locked. So for keeping the files locked in your room, if you want to secure the files in the system, means you need to provide some privacy, right? So you may get the privacy by giving some OTPs or any secret keys that are given by the user or authorized person. So the facility to keep it safe, that is what privacy. Next one is user interface. User interface is essential and all operating systems provided by it. Means how the user can interact the system directly by using command line interface or any graphical line interface. Means command line interface is nothing but we can directly interact with the system. Means whatever I type, the system automatically take the command or the program, then it starts its execution. That is what command line interface. Whereas graphical user interface is nothing but whatever we can see, the icons, push buttons, menu buttons, that all comes under graphical user interface. Means graphical user interface offers a user mouse based window and menu system as an interface. Nothing but what I have said, whatever the icons present on the system, like menu buttons, that all are directly interacted with the GUI. Nothing but graphical user interface. Next, networking. Networking is nothing but the data can be sent in the form of data packets and managing the network communication. That is nothing but sending and receiving the messages from client and servers through a network. That is nothing but LAN or WAN. LAN is nothing but local area network, whereas WAN is nothing but wide area network. So with these two networks we can send the data or receive the data through the network. To send these networks, you need to check the network connections are connected properly or not. That is what about networking. Next, error handling. The operating system also handles the error occurring by the CPU in input-output devices. Means when I am taking the documents directly, means I kept 10 papers to print at a time. Suppose the 9th paper is stuck in the system. I got a pop-up message like error in printer. That is what paper jamming printer. So who is going to rectify this? The operating system needs to check and rectify the problem. Means the paper jam is stuck by the papers, you need to solve. So who is going to provide this? Operating system gives us a pop-up message that paper jam in the printer, so please rectify. Then after rectifying, we can start our printing. That is what error handling. Next, system calls. System call. What is a system call? It is a way for programs to interact with the operating system. Means how we are going to interact with the programs and with operating system. A computer program makes a system call when it makes a request to the operating system. Means suppose when the user is in user mode means what thing but one. So he is calling one system call. System call, when it is calling a program under execution is known as process, and it is under system call. Means the way for programs to interact with the operating system. How it is going to interact with the operating system? Means it makes a request to the operating system's kernel. So system user mode is calling system call, again the system call is going to kernel mode. Kernel mode is nothing but 0. Means how we are going to change the user mode into kernel mode. After kernel mode, again it changes to user mode. User mode becomes 1. So, by providing here one system call, that is what, how we are making a system call by user mode to kernel mode. A system call provides the services of the operating system to the user programs via application program interface. Nothing but how we are going to send the system programs to application programs. Means system programs are nothing but system softwares, application programs are nothing but applications used by the users. That is what sending and receiving the programs. That is what system call means. A system call is a way for programs to interact with the operating system, means way of interacting with the operating system. So, what are the services provided by the system call? First one is main memory management, and next file access directory and file management, next device handling, and next protection, and next networking. So, what is main memory management? In this main memory management is nothing but we are having how many types of memories? Primary memory, secondary memory. Primary memory is nothing but we are having RAM and ROM. So, RAM is nothing but again divided into two types, static RAM and dynamic RAM. Whereas ROM is divided into three types, programmable read-only memory, erasable programmable read-only memory, and EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. And next, how we are going to access the files? Accessing the files directly by user ID or password. And next, how we are going to manage your file? By using the file system management. How we are going to handle your device handling? Nothing but keeping the input output connections properly. All the devices are in proper connection or not. Next, how we are protecting? Until now we have seen how we are going to protect our files and how we are going to secure your files. Next, what is networking is nothing but connections, LAN connection or WAN connection. Checking the service provided by the connection is checked properly or not, means the connection of the network is arranged properly or not, means sending and receiving the messages or mails from an authorized or unauthorized. Next, system program. It is defined as the act of building system software using system programming languages. Means how we are going to build a system software by using system programming languages. Means if you want to build a system softwares are nothing but operating system is nothing but a system software. Operating systems like Windows, Linux, Unix, and PyCharm. So on. What are the different types of system softwares that are required should be used by the system programming languages. And next, according to computer hierarchy, hardware comes first, then the operating system. So first hardware comes, then the software, then the operating system. So hardware is handled by whom? Operating system. So first hardware, and then next operating system, and then next applications, and these applications are used by user. So nothing but how we are going to use this hardware, how it is managed by operating system, and operating system manages the applications used by the user. That is what our application programs. Next, program development and execution can be done conveniently in system programs. All the programs can be done easily executed by these system programs. And next, some of the system programs are simply user interface. Nothing but easily they can access all the kinds of programs and they can easily interact. That is what it can easily simply use the interface. Nothing but interaction between the user and the system. Others are very complex. In traditionally sits beside the users and system calls. It traditionally sits between the user interface and system calls. So let us see the diagram of system prog. So here first, who is the user? We are the user. How we are going to user interface? We are directly interacting with the system. And here we are having two kinds of programs. What are they? System programs and application programs. System programs are nothing but system softwares, whereas applications are nothing but applications, apps. So these are used by the user. These are used by the system. That is what the difference between system and application. Who are using this? Kernel. Kernel is nothing but it is an core of operating system. It is nothing but core of operating system. So this is what about system programs. Next, let us see about operating system structure. What is operating system? Operating system is nothing but it is an interface between user and system hardware. Whereas how we are going to implement the operating system structure? Operating system is a design that enables user application programs. It enables the user application programs and to communicate with the hardware of the machine. Nothing but, whereas in the definition we are using computer is an interface between user and the system hardware. Whereas here we are using user application programs and to communicate with the hardware of the machine. So here we are having 4 different types of operating system. What are they? Let us see. So simple structure, monolithic structure, layered approach structure, and next is microkernel structure. So all these structures are belongs to operating system structure. Let us see the first simple structure. So simple structure. This organizational structure is used by MS-DOS operating system. This structure is very simple and it is used by the MS-DOS operating system. There are 4 layers that make the MS-DOS operating system and each has its own set of features. Means for whatever the application of this MS-DOS, for each layer has its own set of features. These layers include ROM BIOS. ROM BIOS is nothing but read-only memory and BIOS is nothing but basic input-output system. Means whatever the device drivers of this MS-DOS device drivers, application programs and system programs. These layers include what? RAM BIOS, device drivers, MS-DOS device drivers, application programs and system programs. These all layers are included in the MS-DOS operating system. The MS-DOS operating system benefits from layering because each level can be defined independently. Means each of the layer is defining independently. For everything they are having independent. Means application program is separate, system program is separate, device drivers are separate and BIOS device drivers are separate. Means for this each layer they are having independently and when they are required they can connect or interact with each other. Means application program needs BIOS, means it can directly interact, whereas it wants to interact step by step, means it goes to application program, the next system programs and next device drivers and BIOS device drivers. So if whatever the requirements it goes by step or directly it want, means it will go to directly BIOS device drivers. That is what about simple structure. Monolithic structure. Monolithic structure is often referred as monolithic kernel. Means kernel is nothing but it is a core of an operating system.